I don't hear that.
I don't either.
Okay.
Is it on mute?
No.
I had had enough.
Well, you drove out there into the
There
middle
we
of
go.
nowhere and had
Like, yeah,
some sort of
tricky.
loud verbal display challenging ET in general out in the middle of
That's
nowhere.
what I was doing. I actually had a pistol in my hand
That's
at the time.
Jeff from Stardust
I was really
Entertainment.
ticked off. When I was having this fit, I was waving the gun in the air, okay, and I had this fit. And at this moment, I said, okay.
Beep, 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 beep.
He was a Louisiana man named Montaldo.
What?
Folks around called him Six Gun Joe. Worked with ICAR, don't you know? Investigating UFOs. Out for a drive with a gal one night, they stopped to check out the reporting site. When an alien lit right there on the ground, commenced to throwing his weight around. Now, old Six Gun didn't take too kindly to that kind of thing, especially without Vaseline.
Hey, watch that, buddy.
Seriously.
Keep that Vaseline.
Well, Six Gun looked that critter right in the eye and said, "Any last wish before you die?" Yo, reached for his gun, quick as a twitch, and said, "Fill your claw, you son of a bitch."
You son of a biscuit.
Now a legend spread across the land about this pistol-waving man. But if you're from space or from Earth below, you don't give no lip to Six Gun Joe.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Welcome to Don't Whistle at Night podcast, where Navajo legends echo in the shadows. Darren and Dawn will guide you through the sacred fire of native storytelling, where the old stories breathe, the unknown walks among us, and voices, long hidden, rise to be heard. And remember, don't whistle at night.
I know they just said don't whistle at night. Hopefully that was the daytime when they were doing that silliness.
Depends on when they recorded it. Yeah.
I know. Welcome everyone to UFO Undercover. I hope you're having a good morning, good afternoon, great evening, wherever you happen to be stationed on our big, beautiful blue planet. Be sure you tune in Friday night. It's gonna be a lot of good politics Friday night. Oh man.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I can't do it tonight, unfortunately. We're finishing up part 2 of O parts, but it's not just so much O parts. It's, is there any technology on the planet today that would suggest that it may have come from alien technology? So, can y'all think of any, ladies and gentlemen? Why is this still up here? We don't want this up here. We want this gone.
You got it. There you go.
We want this going. So, I mean, can you really think of any parts out there? I mean, anything that might be suggestive to our technology today belong to extraterrestrials, or I shouldn't say belong, but may have come from it. The only one that truly worries me is computer technology.
Yeah,
and we'll get that in a little while, but it worries me in fact because if that's where it came from, that's got implications on profound ways. But you know, I was thinking, a friend of mine, I was telling, we were talking about O parts, and he was telling me about what do you call them? It's a pacer that was found in a geode. Not the car, people. Don't be smart asses. It's a pacer, like you know, for your heart.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
A heart. What do they call those goddamn things?
Yeah. So anyway, he said that's what they had found. He said there had been several pieces of electronics found that a library in Canada had it first, and then it was transferred to some Midwestern library. He said, but he doesn't know what happens to it because he said every time he calls and asks about it, they're like, "Oh well, if you're talking about this exhibit, I think it was packed and waiting to go home or something like that, but had never been displayed." It's very curious, but I mean, I doubt there's anything anybody can do about it. And then there's some other stuff that was recently found in Europe that suggests that there was someone here, and I have to say someone because I'm not sure they were human. I mean, some of these dates, 120 million, 300 million, that's not us.
Yeah, can't be us.
Yeah,
we hadn't developed yet, at least as far as the geological record goes.
Or our own personal biological record just doesn't push us back that far.
Yeah. Well, with current information we have right now, it doesn't. That could change. It's possible. That could change, yeah.
Jesse Jones, 3 to 5 million years, depending on what scientist you want to believe on. Really, we Cro-Magnon, Neanderthal, and all the rest diverged, around 2 million years ago?
Something around that, yeah.
Yeah, some got together and some just walked the other ways. As far as we know, that might have been the Mayans, Aztecs, the Toltecs. There's so many techs down there, and there's a couple other ones besides that. And
yeah, Olmec.
Yeah, the Olmec. I mean, all of those go as well. So I mean, these go way back, and they don't really all seem to be connected, which is odd, since we're all supposed to have came from a set of monkeys on the African safari.
Well, even more shocking, someone wrote a story today about them finding dugout canoes from about, well, it actually was prehistory. It goes way back. I think 5,000 years. They said it's when they went, or when they're dated to 5,200 years, which pushes back the history of Americas, but also feeds into my theory, which was proven by the Human Genome Project. The Jomon people of ancient Japan, 12,500 BCE, about 17,000 years ago, they used to make dugout canoes, and using the prevailing currents of the Pacific Rim, would roll around the coast of North America, South America, Central America, then rolling across the Pacific. They'd go across the Polynesian and all those islands, and then back to their home. And the people of North, Central, and South America, the native people, the native tribes, the first nations that were here, their genetic makeup is the Japanese Korean haplogroups, not the European Hispanic, which everyone has thought. They are more closely related to Japanese and Koreans than they are to Europeans and Caucasians. So how did that DNA get there? Well, it had to get there somehow. It came from Japan, starting around 12,000 BCE.
They and that's the thing. I mean, Now we found in skulls in South America 4 million years old. How is that possible? It's I don't know. Just then, of course, we've got Lloyd Pye's alien skull.
The Star Child skull, which is
Yeah,
very
so-
strange.
Well, actually, you know what, guys and girls, I haven't talked to those the couple that has it in a long time, but maybe we should get them back on the show, and because they're very interesting people. They actually are the original owners of the skull. Lloyd Pye had it. Had it like was a custodian and was trying to get research done on it, and he did. He got a lot of people to drill into it and look at things.
There are some new data on it too, I believe.
It basically just said that one strand of DNA was not one strand, one cluster of DNA was unidentifiable, not from Earth. Well, they didn't say not from Earth. They just said not from anything known on Earth. You got to remember there was mutations. As far as we know, that skull was a mutation, and there's been other times where we have found singular skulls that could have just been mutations. I mean, the skull's mutated. You can't say it has. I mean, there's been several types of mutations, deformations. Well, deformities, yes, things, growing weird, and somebody might have been exposed to cancer or had something growing. You just never know.
There are a lot of pathologies we just don't know about. Yeah, absolutely.
I can tell you this about the skull. I got to see it. I got to see the copy and the real one. What amazed me is the real one was super light because it was super big. It was I would say 3.5 times the size of a normal human head. And the reason I say 3 is because if you go 2, it doesn't give you enough for the center part or back section of the part right there as well, which was actually probably 1.5. So yeah, at least 3.5 sizes of a human. It could even be 4. It's big and it's light and it's super strong. So it looks like it's woven. It almost looks like it was created with a 3D printer. It's not. You can tell it's some type of bone, but it's nothing like. I'm not an expert in skulls, Gene, by any means, but I've seen a lot of this kind of research, and it's just nothing I've ever personally seen, and no one can really explain it in any ways. It's the way its eye sockets were inset. Said that they could see in low light situations much better than the average human.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they said better than a dog, down around the same light level as a cat or something.
Indicating probably some sort of underground or nocturnal activity only.
Living on a planet like Mars, low light.
Mm-hmm.
After a long period of time, I guess it could just evolve. Well, no, James, no one knows. That's the thing. Well, it's been tested. I know the skull itself's been tested, I think 3 times that I know of. At no point have they ever identified the other segment of DNA as being
the male DNA
other.
is unidentifiable.
Yeah, they know who the mother is. Yes, actually, they have the mother.
They have the skull of the mother.
Yeah, so they actually have the mother. So they know who the mother is. They just don't know who the father is. The father just doesn't test. Well, I mean, what do you mean? The Messiah? Well, you're such an ass. You got to ask the Messiah about all of that. It doesn't seem like it fared well. No Messiah ever does. Well, I don't know about all that either. Well, we don't know that. I mean, no one knows where the skull. We know where it was found. We know a lot about it. We just don't know what it is.
Was it found in Europe?
No, it was South American somewhere.
Was it? Okay.
It's well, Jesse, that's like remember the crystal skulls, Jesse. So the first time I ever read about the crystal skulls, it said it was found somewhere in someplace in it wasn't I think it was Germany. And the whole time I'm thinking Germany, is there any crystal in Germany? I mean, we're talking big wonk and honk of crystal here, man.
Yeah.
And you know, and there's lots of stories about these kind of crystals in South America. So I was just kind of like, oh, okay. And then later on, of course, it fessed up and it's cut from one piece of crystal, which they believe is, I think, Brazilian. And that's all they know. They argue the biggest argument of it, the skull is when was it cut? Because at most points when you're talking about there wasn't a way. It's like when Jay and I talk about the pyramids. It's the same thing with this skull. The earliest parts of the skull, there was just wouldn't have been a technology around to cut it. Now, when you go, hey Heidi, when you go a couple hundred years in, then you have high pressure. You have high pressure water. You have steel grinding. So there's now by saying all that, there is no marks like that on the skull. So when you use certain types of abrasives or even water, it leaves patterns.
Yeah,
There
the
is.
only tool marks found are down by one of the connection points for the lower mandible, which disconnects from the skull. So it's carved from one piece, but carved into two pieces. But the lower jaw disconnects, and then somewhere on, I think, the left side of the face, there's a tool mark where the connection is that they can't explain how it got there or what kind of tool even made it.
It's when you get into these kind of things. Well, it's an O part. It's an out of place artifact. Nobody knows who made it or how it got made or where it got made. Yeah, there's been lots of replicas, but replicas are bullshit.
Yeah,
You
the
can buy
Mitchell Hedges skull, which has gone under a lot of scrutiny, not a great deal of modern day scrutiny, but 70s, 80s. The skull is exactly the proportions of a human skull.
Move on. Ran it through some 90s stuff. Actually, I think mid 90s at that. Well, because everybody kept getting the same answer, so it was like, okay, now you can go find all of this online, and you could actually run it through a modern day pathologist. Well, no, you could take the whole thing as a program. You can just run it through the whole program and see if it shows you anything else. But it shows basic tool marks, and then it doesn't. All of this, I'm going to polish you now, and then that was it.
But also the polishing and the cutting, all experts have said that went against the grain of the natural stone,
Jesus,
which is impossible because if you do that, the stone usually just shatters into a worthless piece.
Yeah, splits or gets those splinter hairs all over the place.
Yeah.
No, whatever it was it was a serious technology. It's just nothing we have today. But so when you're back here, so you're hearing us talk about all this stuff. So that piece, if you go by, was it Aztecs or Incans, it's 10,000, 12,000 years old, which fits into a lot of things that happen to fall into that 12,500 range. There's a lot of things that dump into there, the pyramids, the Stonehenge, the Angkor Wat. There's a bunch of crap that dumps into that time frame. So something was going on that they were trying to tell us about at that time frame. They're trying to warn everybody about. Was it something that happened? Was it something that's coming? I don't know. But put your brakes on, because this other shit, just like you're sitting there on your little, train, your electric train. You're sitting there, and all of a sudden, your ass is 400 million years in the past, going, okay, and what the fuck am I doing here? What's that big thing flying around in the air? That don't look like what the fuck is it? I mean, really and truly, excuse my language, ladies and gentlemen. You just don't have a clue of what's up there. It's so when you get into all these technologies and you get into all these old parts, there's no real explanation how they got to be where they are. If you do just the cogs and the sprockets, just those alone, I think there's more than 50 of them. All of them either found inside of a piece of coal or grouped in a lump of coal that was pulled out of the ground. We're talking 20, 50, 80 million years old. Who the hell was running cogs back then?
Yeah.
And why? And I guess obviously there was no volcano at that particular time, or maybe they were pulling power from it. There are a lot of answers that's hard to get. And then the Pravda map talks about a whole society 120, 60 million years ago.
Mm-hmm. And we have also megalithic buildings that the indigenous people that they try to ascribe to having built them did not possess any kind of skills in order to build them. The H blocks, for example, up in Pumapunku, the native tribes in that region, they have a language, but they don't have a written language. They don't write, and they don't have any math. Well, to build a building, particularly precision building, you kind of need math, and you need to be able to write, and you need to be able to draw out the plan. How are we going to build this thing? We can't start at the top and come down. Where do you begin? So, same thing with the pyramids. They keep trying to say the Egyptians built them. Where are the plans? There's no plans.
Where are the plans?
There's no building plans. There's no blueprints. There's no mention of anything of the design of the buildings until you talk about the pyramid texts, which only talk about the sandstone cover blocks. That's it.
What's that, Jeff? Because there is nothing. There's no, and if there is, our science is like, we're not gonna let you see it. You know what? You don't need to know, you stupid humans. It's I'm not even saying it's alien. Look, who do we know? There may have been some underground society at one time. I'm not saying that the aliens, I'm not even saying that the Atlanteans were some alien society. They may have just been a society. Let's not forget there was 1 billion years of evolution on the planet. Even if you wanted to ask, it's 750 million years. Any way it goes. None of us knows. 5 great extinctions. We don't know what the hell's been wiped off this planet and what level of advance. And apparently, some of these wipeouts were pretty good one, Laura. Like someone took a scrubby brush and scrubbed the whole top of the damn planet off. Right. Because there is no evidence. There's barely even any fossil evidence of the beings or some of the beings that lived at the time. And why was there always so much more oxygen back then and everything was so much bigger? Well, I guess that's why everything was so much bigger, because there was more oxygen. But still, why? I'm always hearing how bad carbon is going to bomb and kill us. But yet back then, carbon contacts were 8, 9, 10 times what they are today. Somebody needs to explain this. This is some shit that... Look, I'm listening to Al Gore talking about Donald Trump today. He's going on. Yeah, we all remember Al Gore, right? He said by 2011, we'd all be swimming.
Yep.
Especially me, because I live on the Gulf Coast. First off, somehow or another, the water is actually going down. I think they said 1.5 inches down here, which is weird. Our winters, get this crap. It's going to snow again in January in the South. When I say deep South, I'm living on the freaking Gulf.
You're on the Gulf, man.
I'm in the deep. I'm in the South. And so when I was growing up,
you can't get any deeper south unless you go to Key West.
My first 50 years down here, it snowed every 10 years. And yet, when we say snow, y'all gonna laugh because it's like 1.5 inches, and by morning it was gone. Okay, that was what we called snow. No, last 2 times it snowed. First off, one year I had icicles. 2 feet hanging off my house. Come on,
I remember that.
and then last year, 19 inches of snow. Give me really? We had coon asses out there with their boats tied to the back of their trucks, driving down the road, throwing their kids around. Come on. It's just dangerous for snow down there, people. And then they say the other day, it may snow this weekend or next weekend. I'm like, okay. So
probably
I don't know where. Obviously, global warming is not in the South. It is going somewhere else, which, by the way, we're grateful. Cooler summers mean weaker hurricanes for us. So we're all for that. Let me tell you about it.
Weaker and less.
Yes. So we can deal with a few winter storms to have a weaker summer. Yeah, we're all for that. But and then some of my friends up north were saying, well, it's not snowing as much. I'm like, well, do you really hate that? And they're like, well, not so much. So far, this climate change is not working out. I don't know, and it's raining more in the deserts. I'm not exactly sure who's this is.
30, 40 years ago, as a kid in Maryland, we had, 2 foot, 3 foot, 4 foot snows regularly.
And what the hell you need that for? That's like living in Buffalo, man.
October.
That's like living in Buffalo. Who wants to live in Buffalo?
Oh my God. I've been there twice in the wintertime. It's horrible.
So have I. I don't ever want to go back here.
I don't want to go back in the summertime.
The guys would say, he goes, we're landing in Buffalo. It's just a shame none of y'all can leave, because he said, you're going to be at the airport for several days. The damn snow was taller than I was. I'm like, really? But I was lucky.
16-foot drifts they get in the streets there.
And regularly. I was lucky. The hotel had a little tram thing that picked us up, and on the ground thing picked us up, brought us to the hotel, where I stayed snuggled for 4 days before they let us have it. I was like, cool, okay. Everything was on them. I was a happy camper. I'd never been to Buffalo before. I mean, you couldn't go anywhere. You could only hang out in the hotel, but still. There you go there between there and the airport. That was weird, James. I've been to a lot of airports in the United States. Over 100, yes. Over 100. I've been to a lot of cities. I venture to say worldwide and American cities. You'd think I was lying if I told you how many cities I've been to. Here, I put it in perspective. 2025, how many cities did you think I'm going to? I'll tell you this much. By March, I had already been to 18, 19 cities. Actually 20, because I was in and out of DC 3 times. Yes. And then I went to meet a friend of mine in Phoenix, which I had to go up to North Carolina. Still, I will never understand that. Oh, we're going to fly to North Carolina, then we're going to fly to Phoenix.
Yeah, weird.
I'm like, okay, that's ignorant, but I'm
going,
sure they
going east to fly west. Yeah, that
Plus,
makes sense.
They wanted to stop off in Atlanta.
Well, from your perspective, you actually went north and east. Then you went
northeast.
West.
So they stopped off in Atlanta. But wait, that's what kills me. They didn't stop in Atlanta going up to North Carolina, but they did on the way back. And then we took off and we stopped somewhere out in Texas. And then we flew the rest of the way to Phoenix. I was like,
so you flew to North Carolina to go to Phoenix, but you stopped in Atlanta on the leg to Phoenix.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I don't know. And there was a plane change along the way too. I was like, you got to be shitting me, right? I was like, who the hell booked this ticket? And then so I said, you know what? I'm gonna check to see what kind of ticket I could get on the way back. And I talked to the lady, and she got me.
Would you get speeding?
She got me one way back straight into Mississippi. By the way, I was like, well, look at this. I said, if you ever knew down in the city, let me know. I'll hook you up with something. And she was real nice, but it's you just never know sometimes when you're letting people book stuff for you. Oh, whoa, now, Chris, don't get stupid now. No, I do a lot of lectures, and it depends where I'm lecturing, where I'm going, how I'm going to be going, and how much it costs. Yes. Well, sometimes I waive some fees. Let me put it this way. If it's a conference I want to speak at, and I really, really like the people who are going to be there, and they're really going to take good care of me while I'm there, I won't hit the minimum fee. Now, these days, about $3,600 is minimum. Yeah. I don't make the rules. No. Just the way it works out. No, I'll speak places for free, like I just said. If it's somewhere I really want to look, I drove all the way up to Arkansas for a spring conference up there just to give them a helping hand, because they didn't know how to keep an audience. And the lady was so funny, because first day I was up there, I sat down, and I was lecturing, and I got through, and it was a nice sized room, about 200 people, and I sat down on the edge of the stage, and I started talking to everybody, and told you, pull in, we'll just talk. And the owner didn't want to stop. Went on for like 4 hours. The owner didn't even want to break it up. She told everybody he could speak twice the next day. But people want to be personal. They want to ask personal questions. They want to know things, and that's the way to do it. Well, sometimes I do presentations, PowerPoints, and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. It varies on what I'm going to be doing. Q&A is one of my favorite things. I charge way less just to do Q&A. Oh, yeah, man. I give discounts because I love doing Q&A. I just love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's nice to travel. Well,
sometimes.
Well, put it this way: if you're a decent conference and you busting you know what's to get one going. No, I can fly coach. If I'm flying by myself, I fly coach. Now, if I'm flying with anybody else, it's different. But no, because the boss ain't gonna fly coach. Business is the best you can get. Yeah. Well, that's the funny part. I've never understood this, because a lot of time business is nicer than first class is. Well, because when I'm flying, a lot of times they'll tell you, would you like to upgrade to this class, that class, or this class? A lot of times it's less than $100. I'm like, really? I'm like, sure. I get to go upstairs at the cocktail bar and hang out with the. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, and most of the time what I do with that is either read or sleep. Yeah. Well, even economy airlines like Spirit, they have the front 6 or 8 seats, so they'll upgrade you there for about $40. It's 2 seats, they big seats, they're comfortable, you can relax in them. Oh, I don't get to pick the airlines. Most of the time, it's either Delta or Eastern.
Southwest, probably.
Yeah, Southwest sometimes too. I've only had to fly Spirit twice, and both times I was like, I don't think I'm getting back on this plane again. You even notice some bitches gave me like a $10,000 credit limit. Tells you how desperate they were. Yeah, they go around and give these cards up, fill it out. I was bored, so I filled it. I gave it back to them. It's like 7 weeks later, getting a card in the mail. I'm like, well, really? We're going shopping. Oh, whatever can you say? No advantage. I like flying Delta. Delta's nice. It's fun. Yeah. And aliens seem to like it too because they always have like a little alien ship following alongside or something.
I think it's the Delta design. You know,
Yeah.
the company logo on the side
Yeah.
draws them in.
No, really. I mean, it's a lot of people in Delta Airlines have reported seeing UFOs. I don't know what it is, but getting back to what we were talking about, see, when you get into these old parts and they pull you so far back in time, it's where do you start at? Well, we can't really start more than about 12, 13,000 years ago. Well, we'll say 15,000 because that's what 12,500 years ago actually is. Yeah, because at 12,500 BC plus 2,500 AD. Yeah. So that's where you are.
17,000 plus.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. Well, because people always forget to add AD in when you're going backwards. Yes. When you say, 12,500.
When we're talking BCE or BC, which is before Christ or before the Common Era, we're talking 1 BCE back to infinity. AD, Anno Domini, or CE, current epic, is 1 CE till today. It's 2025 years.
So you always got to remember to add the AD into the BC. That's basically what it. Well, I'm shortening it out, but it's basically what it is. Well, people forget and they don't. So that would leave you 2,500 years short on your trip backwards. You'd be like, okay, this don't look quite right.
Yeah, well, I think we missed the mark.
Something's not right here, Fred. What happened? It's just the way it is. Mm-hmm.
But I mean that's exactly right. If you were to take Doc Brown's DeLorean and set it for 15,000 years ago, you're going to wind up at 12,000 something 700 BCE. If you set the machine for 17,000 years ago, you might actually get to the point where you might see what it is exactly that was happening just before whatever happened.
Whatever happens. What do you mean, Chris? You can't even see me doing that. How you know I'm doing that? It's behind my name. I have to lift it up like that for you to see it. Damn, you psychic, man. I to be honest with you, I take every show I take a screenshot of. I'm not a screenshot of an actual physical picture of. They're for other things I use them for. Like when I'm selling jade to the Arabs, but they want a picture. What can I do? They say, well, man, how do we know he's good looking? You got to give us a picture. I'm like, shit. Yeah, because when they got Sean, they were like, no.
Yeah, no, we don't
like
Santa.
No, he says what he said. He said you said he had big beard, like big daddy beard. Man, he got a little beard now. Like, yes, I can shaved it. What am I gonna do? We're talking about Sean Goodwin. Who the blank is Sean Goodwin? Never heard of the character. I'm sure there's one out there, but
Sean Kelly and John Goodwin.
Goodwin, yes. Real quick, if that's what you want to know about, writersoffuture.com, that's how you get in. You want to win, that's where you go. You want to take the course, that's where you go. You want to submit, that's where you go. Yeah. It's easy. Go in there and take the writer's course. It's an easy course to take. There's a lot of skilled people there that there's all kind of stuff there for illustrators. God help you if you win, you'll be bombed by some of the bombed. Sorry. Okay, you won't literally be embalmed, but sorry, my
You
brain.
might get bombed with,
Yes,
but
but anyway, you'll meet some of the top illustrators in the world. I mean, two of them got there are doing serious work for Disney, so should tell you something right
well,
there.
the one time I was on with you and John, and we were talking to Echo. You were scrolling through her website on her her personal art page, and I'm like, Echo, that artwork looks very familiar. I mean, I've seen this. Where are you from? What did you do? She's the lady that does the art boxes for Celestial Seasonings tea, and has been doing it for a long time. And they
Yes.
are really, really. I mean, I don't like the tea, but I like the box. I don't like the tea; it doesn't taste very good to me. But the boxes are phenomenally beautiful, almost collector quality.
Face right there, people. That's a probing face. Jay, you got to go back and look at that face. That's a probing.
Did they get
face.
froze again?
Oh man, that was a probing face. That was a perfect. Like, oh my god, I just got probed. It's like that. They got a comic running around where the seat pops and the stick comes out the middle of the seat and comes up. Yes, it's one of those kind of pictures. No, Echo's a very talented artist, and she's the coordinating judge for Writers of the Futures. Yes. No, you just go and join. I mean, go and submit or go and take the course. Well, there's nothing to join. You submit and they get it, and it's a blind judge. And if you win, they write you and tell you won, and they fly you out to LA, and you have a grand old teddy time. They even have a big old gala at the end of it, give you your check and party down. Got good food, good company, a lot of famous people there, a lot of famous press people there.
Apparently Heidi likes to drink Yogi, and I like Yogi too. The quotes must be awesome. Yogi Bear was one of my favorite characters on the Merry Melodies cartoon tickets.
The only way I'm drinking anything Yogi is if it's Jaeger honey.
Jaeger honey.
That's the only damn way I'm drinking anything. Yeah, I'm just telling you now. People ain't had Jaeger honey. Shame on you. I don't like regular Jaeger. It tastes like licorice. I was never a big fan.
It does. Yeah, it absolutely. And I found that Jägermeister turns nice people into mean, ugly people, and it turns ugly, mean people into nice, friendly people.
That's weird. It's weird. It's like that freaking
weird. It's a weird liquor.
Don't ever. We'll talk about this on Friday too, but don't ever. Or we'll probably talk about this on Saturday. But don't ever eat a worm out of the mezcal bottle. It's like sinful.
Too late.
Yeah. Well, not you probably know, but I'm just telling for the rest of these crazy people. But anyway, it has nothing to do with aliens. No. You might see some visions.
You might see some aliens. Yeah.
Probably not gonna be legit ones, but you might see some.
Yeah. Go Sluggerblast.
So, how long has this planet been producing life? Is the real question. Or how long has life been?
4.5 billion years old.
So, is this like the mad scientist lab that's off in the dark corner where nobody knows and only a few people know about, and every so often somebody
that's a good
pops
segue.
up? Well, I'm just saying.
Well, I sent you that article the other day.
Oh yeah, that was great. I love that.
So people, a lot of the debunkers, particularly the debunkers, are like, "Oh, it's too vast of a distance. There's no way aliens, even if they're out there, there's no way they can get here, no matter how advanced their technology is. The distances are too far. Blah 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 blah." Well, this article stipulates that through the Erosita X-ray gamma detecting machine, they're doing some sort of survey to map hot gases and the after effects of supernovas, and they detected a natural tunnel of hot plasma going from our solar system in the direction of Centaurus, Alpha Centauri, the closest solar system to us, with 4.7 light years away. They also detected another such anomaly tunnel, they're calling it channels or tunnels, but another plasma tunnel heading towards Canis Major, the dog star. And they're not quite certain yet, but they think that this might actually be part of a vaster, larger network of where stellar birth, like the stellar birth, stellar where stars are born in the area. We're near one, so apparently it's some sort of anomaly. I think where all the star birthing sites are, where stars form, may be a network of tunnels going from star to star, solar system to solar system, which would indicate. And I didn't say anything about traveling through these tunnels, whatever. But that might indicate a possible natural phenomenon that allows travel from great distances from one place to another. It would be like a road. I mean, you couldn't turn off and go somewhere else. It would be you're only going from A to B or A to D all the time, but might facilitate space travel because it shows this natural pathways to the next destination. So it's fascinating work.
Yes, Jack, it'd be like a Stargate without a dial back.
Exactly.
So the dial back would be random. Well, it wouldn't be random. You probably know where it would go once you mapped it a couple times. So to get home to Earth, you might have to go to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 of these places before one of them actually brought you back to Earth. Well, there could be singular ones, but I doubt it. They would probably be more connected.
Yeah, this seems exactly like what you're talking about. It seems like a set road between two places and travel to and from is possible. With the Stargate, you can only open the door and go one way, and then when you get there, you got to, like Joe said, turn around and open up the door to go back. This way, you don't have to do anything. You just go there, do whatever, turn around, go back through the tunnel. Super easy.
Well, we'll see, Jack. What do you mean? Well, no, that's not FTL. FTL is faster than light travel. Yes, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah, there was no mention in the article of whether there was the possibility of travel, but it's implied because they're saying that the Alpha Centaurus is siphoning heat and plasma energy from our solar system to it, and vice versa. So we're siphoning plasma from their solar system. Is it getting here or not? They didn't even say about that. I don't know. I didn't get that deep into it, but the implications are that at the very, very least, if it doesn't offer or help us in our faster than light experiments, it will at least give us ideas on how to get to Alpha Centaurus.
It might allow us to send stuff to that particular solar system at it's 4 light years, so it would take 4 years to get there at light speed, but still.
Yeah.
And if you're traveling and if you're traveling at that speed, you're not losing time coming back, so it's not like a massive 500-year difference. But Jack, it's all in the way you travel that causes that problem. So if you're trying to catch up to light speed, like you're in a ship and you're cruising really fast and you're working your way up to light speed and you finally get there, all that time it's spent to get to light speed, whether it's 1 second or 5 hours, has like quadrupled on Earth. So all of that time, so whatever it took you to get to light speed has now all been massed together. Now, will you lose it coming back? I doubt it. You're probably going to achieve. You're going to probably just add more onto it. So you're at 5 years ends up being 500 years round trip. Well, that kind of bites, doesn't it? And again, Jay and I have talked about this 100 times. You just never know if the other ship just blows on by you saying, there's Bob and Jay. What are they doing out there, man?
They've gone plaid.
Well, they might not be allowed to interview. They might have to let you fly there on your damn own 500 years later.
And there's, I don't like to say this kind of thing because I disagree when scientists say it, but they said there may be a cosmic speed limit. And they thought that the cosmic speed limit was the speed of light, but they've detected light particles moving faster than the speed of light. So we don't know if there's Star Trek put on a galactic speed limit. You can't go above I think warp 7 unless it's an extreme emergency. So the feeling on that was that the devices that all the races were using to travel through our part of the galaxy, warp bubbles and going to and from light speed, were damaging the fabric of space and time. So we honestly don't know what any of our engines, even our combustion engines, we don't know if they have any kind of effects on the space-time continuum. They probably don't, but a space drive that turns covers your spaceship with a warp bubble to protect it from the speeds and then goes beyond the speed of light, that could be doing damage to actual space, the actual universe itself. It could be causing damage. We don't know.
Tearing little holes in there or something.
Yeah, tearing little holes in the fabric, right?
Well, Justin, it's all theoretical until somebody actually does it. And as far as we know, no one has. I mean, there's a lot of people who say people have, but there's no evidence to back that up. An FTL jump. Well, depends where it was going. Yeah, I don't want to go to somewhere like Titan where you might make it there, but then be stuck on Titan.
Yeah,
Titan's not the most hospitable planet I've ever seen.
Is it not the most volcanic object?
Yeah. It's a hell of a place. I wouldn't want to live. I forgot
the environment more than likely.
Yeah, they said it made Venus look like us. No, it said it made Venus look like just a little spacewalk. I don't know. Titan's pretty hairy, scary in itself.
Yeah, Venus is pretty scary too, but at least we've gotten to the ground on Venus. We have not gotten to the ground on Titan, I don't believe.
No, but we will eventually. Well, see, Jack. So, are we going to find these out of place artifacts on other planets in our solar system? Thank you, Karen. It's are we gonna find them there? I mean, are we going to be digging around on Mars and say, "Wow, there's a cog on Mars"? So will it only be out of time and place because everything's dead on Mars, but it'll be a part that should have been on Earth. Or maybe it came
not
from
if
Mars.
It came from there.
That's what I was saying. Maybe it came from Mars.
The weird thing is, I don't know how to explain this, and I don't think even scientists do. Our bodies are different than the other creatures on the planet.
My body's just damn sexy, so let's not go get
no. I mean, as far as the pH goes, pH levels, the acidity levels, we're the only creatures, as far as I know, on Earth. When we sweat, our sweat gets in our eyes. It makes our eyes burn because the pH is different. All the other animals on the planet, when they sweat and the sweat gets into their eyes, it doesn't because their sweat and their eyes have the same pH level. Oddly enough, we also share the same pH as the ocean, but again, the other creatures of the planet do not. Our actual chemical makeup is identical to the ocean, and Velikovsky's theory is that whatever it is that blew through here and blasted the fifth planet, put a scar on Mars rather, and siphoned its atmosphere and water, and then bounced off of us and turned us to at an angle. His speculation is that the water here on Earth came from Mars, and if that's true, and our bodies match the DNA of the ocean, well, then that means that it's a good chance if we can prove it that if the water on Earth is Mars's water, then very likely the humans on Earth are Mars's people.
Why you people don't want to come from Mars? Why y'all want to hate on Mars for?
Sean doesn't even think it exists.
I know. I mean, Sean just.
Poor Sean.
He just don't like them Martians, man. He knows they're probably gonna be arrogant. That's why. Yeah, red people probably gonna be arrogant. Red people. No, see, that would cause a whole other problem.
But why do they have to be red?
That's what I'm saying. Well, no, they didn't be green on Mars. It'd be red. And then the red people.
Manhunter's green?
Well, I'm just saying, red people there, red people here. Some red people might get offended somewhere. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, it's true. We do have a sort of a reddish pall to us. At least the lighter skin races, the Native American Indians, they're very red. So
I mean, they may come here and get weirded out because we have ears and a nose and stuff.
Yeah, we never know. I mean, well, for one thing, their eyes would be a lot bigger if you manifested on Mars as a creature versus a creature manifesting on Earth. The Mars creature would have a much larger eyeball and much larger eye socket and optical nerve because they're further away from the sun and there's less light.
Yeah. Purple people, huh? No, because I don't want to be no crazy liberal, man. Get out of here. No purple people allowed. Nah, screw that.
No. Purple is only for royalty.
You're banned. You think I'm messing with you? No, I'm serious. You purple people are evil. Purple people eater. Remember, we know all about him.
Yeah, we heard that song.
He comes and plays on the station every holiday. Yes, he does. He's the purple people eater.
It was a one-eyed, one-horn.
Yeah, that's right.
Flying purple people eater.
and he thinks, oh yeah, he likes your skinny people best. So you better watch out.
Yes. He like his bones. His teeth were designed for crunching bones, so he likes skinny people that are really tall.
But so anyway, no, I know because we're getting ready to get into the second hour, but we're actually into the second hour. So
Yeah, we're in it.
you have all of these places, all around the world that have all these different parts and different things. Like we were just talking about the crystal skull and other things. They're from all over the world. They're from all different times. So we've got a big batch of them that point back to 12,500 years ago. 12 points back to the date of 12,500.
Let's just round it down to 15,000.
Yeah, well, we can do that as well. So, well, no, that's no, Jack. So they're talking about that's when the pyramids were built. That's when the Sphinx was built. All sorts of things were built. Angkor Wat. There's just a lot of things that point back to that particular date from the things that were built today. So if you take the pyramids and bring them forward and you leave Sphinx back in the past, then you have to wonder where the knowledge came from for the pyramids, except for if the people who were still around who actually built the Sphinx would have had that technology until they actually
but the
left
thing
or
is,
went from
the way
wherever.
the timeline goes is we're not sure. Now, there was a posting on Facebook that I talked about with these exact same two things earlier today. So there's your coinky dink for the day. What very, very likely happened is that the Sphinx was a pairing. It had two. There were two Sphinxes on that site, and the one that we have faces the rising sun. It also faces the rising constellation of Leo, and the constellation of Leo, thanks to the work of John Anthony West and Robert Bauval and what's his name, Schock. I forget his first name, Dr. Schock. They were able to correlate the pyramids to Orion, the belt stars of Orion star constellation, and the Sphinx to peering out at the horizon when Leo came above the Earth on the dawn of somewhere in the middle of 10,500 BCE or thereabouts, within a year or two or five plus or minus of that date. So what that means is if you want to have your monument look at its constellation in the sky when it comes up over the horizon, you don't build it after the fact. You build it before the fact. Oh, it's going to come up with, it's going to be, bam. So it was somehow aligned to do that. So it was built before the Leo came across that horizon line where the Sphinx is now. So what that implies is that that entire complex was built probably sooner than that. 14,000 BCE or even maybe 15,000 BCE. We don't know. But they weren't built by the human species, or at least not by the dynasty of the Egyptians.
They had
one more thing I got to say. The Egyptians, they only talk about cover stones. They only talk about the sandstone cover stones. They don't talk about what's underneath. So whatever building is there under the pyramid, is the pyramid the actual way it was originally built, or did the Egyptians just simply built a pyramid on top of something else they didn't know, didn't understand, didn't build, and wanted to hide to make it their own?
There's no telling, since there's so many pyramids and built in so many different places. It's hard to,
in so many different shapes. Yeah. And the pyramids on this on African continent are plain. There's no markings, no artwork, no scrawlings, bas reliefs, nothing. Then you go to South America, and they're very ornate. They're not really carved so much, but they have ornate designs and graphics on them. And one of them, actually, at least one of them, has a certain function during the solstices. When the sun sets or rises, it creates a shadow which looks like the snake of Quetzalcoatl, either coming down the pyramid or going back up the pyramid, which would be very cool to watch. Well, then you go to Asia, and they're the most ornate. I mean, they look at the ones in India. They have every square inch of the wall, ceiling, floor are either carved, painted, or mosaic floor or tile. Why? What's the difference in why does it? It seems like a progression from, this is the earliest pyramids, or from, our beginnings. Then we got a little bit better. Here we are in South America. Then here we are at the penultimate with the Asian ones that are elaborately.
Somebody might have told them, or they had seen them sometime when they were children, and decided that they wanted theirs to be better. It's hard to say because I mean, India, Egypt, that's all places you could have traveled to back in the day. So, Jesse, I knew that question the other day. It's from someplace in Argentina to someplace in I forgot where it was, but it's basically from like Johannesburg to someplace in Brazil. It's the longest, that you can go by foot. I just wonder how they do the part there up there by when they cross from Russia to Alaska. That's all. All the rest of it, I know how they get around. It connects everywhere, somewhere. But
so the fable of the Aleutian land bridge is that everyone thinks that at some point it was low enough where creatures could walk across it. Maybe a good portion of it, but I guarantee you there are places where you would still have to swim, especially out across the top center of the Pacific.
That's why they were talking. It was during the Ice Age, because everything would have froze over, and you'd have just walked on across.
Well, my proposal for how the Jomon people of the ancient Japan and Korea, how they got over to America was that it was I call it the land bridge because it was part land and part water. So they would go. They had canoes. They were able to, go long distances in their canoes, so they could go across the Aleutians, find a small island, camp for the evening, rest, go to the next one. But you wouldn't be able to walk from island to island. You would probably you might be able to walk across one large island, then swim to the next one, then walk to the other side of it, then swim to the next one, then walk to the other side of that, and then swim to the next one. It wasn't a full all the way across.
Land but for like 15,000 years, it was all ice up there. Longer than that, actually, it was 100,000 years.
Well, ice is a different story because it floats on top of the water. But without the ice, with the water can't get low enough up there for you to touch the ocean floor. That's all I'm saying. There's nothing underneath of those things except for the few islands on the very near coasts of Russia.
That's why they just have ice sheets. By then, all it was just one big ice sheet anyway. It wasn't even. That ice sheet extended way down from there.
Oh yeah, I mean you could have walked across the center of the Pacific at certain points of the ice age.
Yeah, it froze up, man. Well, no, that's how they say the mammoths got here and other things that came to live on this continent got here. But it was funny that we had saber-toothed tigers here, but none of them went to go live in Africa anywhere.
Yeah, strange. Well, we had the dire bear, dire wolf, and the saber-tooth all on this continent. They don't show up on any other continent.
Yeah, there's a couple of things besides. That was just odd. I'm just saying, we walked all the way over here. I guess by the time they all became fully a thing, the ice bridge was going. Yeah, I guess maybe. I don't know. 15,000 years, a long time. Actually, I think they said that one lasted about 105,000 years. So it's a long time. Yeah, it gives you time to go back and forth, see what you want to do. Well. There was ice coming from everywhere. There was like a center part of the planet.
Right like above the equatorial region was not frozen.
And the rest of the planet was pretty much like, whoa, look at that big frozen ball down there. What a little thing going on.
In the northern hemisphere, it went down as far as the tip of Florida and probably through Mexico all the way down to about Guatemala is about where it would stop. That's where you're getting into an equatorial region where it would be too warm for the ice to stay.
Boy, you had some great clean water running off down there, man.
Oh, I'll bet you, yeah.
Well, no, all the civilizations we've talked about came after the Ice Age.
Yeah.
Yes. And
then before the Ice Age, we know nothing. The Ice Age, people, is prehistory. Prehistory starts around at least, I'd say, 15,000 years to about maybe 6,000 BCE. 6,000 BCE forward is really about where we have historical record. People writing things. Sumeria is the first written language. So it's about 5,500 BCE where we first get language. So beyond that, 7,000 BCE and backward is all prehistory. We have no idea what happened. It's all guesswork.
Yeah, just 46,000, 50,000 years of Bronze Age, whatever age if you want to go. But it's just a lot of it just doesn't add up to be what we were told it was. Well, look, they said they found Noah's Ark again, so we'll see how.
Yes,
that
yeah, yeah. I did hear about that.
And then they said they found these massive tunnels that stretch across both continents, from all the way from this side of the world to the other side of the world, and they think it was some type of giant creature that made them.
Really?
Yeah, dissolved the rock.
As in like a worm.
I'm thinking that might be what they're thinking. I didn't read the whole article because I had to go somewhere, but
I mean, either a worm or a horta, like from Star Trek, that eats rock.
well, in the beginning they were talking about something eating up the calcium, and then they were talking about the entity itself. So it was kind of those things.
That's very interesting news.
Yeah, so but I mean, the point is, like, just every time you turn around, they're finding something new, and there's been a lot of new species found in the last 50 years, and because there's been so many extinctions. So is that just Mother Nature's way of balancing out the extinctions? She's saying, well, you're making room. I might as well put something back there.
But you got to figure a couple things. The planet's 4.5 billion years old, and if we calculate from conception to advanced technology, a civilization takes 1 billion years. There's at least the possibility of 4 different possibilities of advanced creatures developing on this planet. We have no idea. After 1 million years, any advanced society, even us, would be there, except for unchangeable traces in the atmosphere, changing the atmosphere, there would be no trace of us whatsoever. The only thing that would be left of us in 2 million years from now, if we evaporated today, would be the nuclear radiation that we left behind.
The nuclear radiation.
So those spots, those where the nuclear reactors were, where the nuclear explosions were, that would all be detectable, but there would be no buildings, no trace of. There may be some bones and stuff here and there, but nothing else.
Yep, just a wasteland. Oh, well, there was an extraterrestrial life on this planet at one time. I guess they went the way of the bad, whatever their extinction level thing was.
Bro, this radiation, they must have blown their idiot selves up.
Well, anyway, so we know that there was somebody here before us in some shape, fashion, because of the old part.
It even says so in the Bible, all Bibles.
Yeah, so anyway, being whatever it was is all fine and dandy, but how do we get to where we are today?
Or how we were before today? How we don't know how we were.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about modern technologies. So when you look at all the modern technologies, if you go from Henry Ford to Elon Musk, is there anything in there? I mean, is there something we should be thinking, oh, that was extraterrestrial? Other than maybe the microchip, is there anything else?
The laser?
Maybe. How about his neurochip?
Yeah, that's definitely alien. Some things you wouldn't think would be alien. Fiber optics, they are. Yeah, Velcro, it is.
Probably is. Everybody always talks about Velcro. Probably is.
Philip Corso, in his book, God rest his soul, Velcro was the way that the gray aliens fastened their very, very thin t-shirt-like metallic shirts, which were fireproof and bulletproof. Now, it would probably break your rib on the other side of it, but it wouldn't go through you.
Yeah, they wouldn't have to worry about any way their shielding works. Well, actually, I should say with the metal shielding works. That's probably
true. But I mean, if someone were able to get through that and shoot at them, the bullet would bounce off their shirt. Likely would knock the energy would knock them to their feet, or to their ass rather, knock them off of their feet, and it very likely would break any bone that it hit, but wouldn't kill them.
But see, you're thinking of a human. You're not thinking of an alien made out of all cartilage.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it would probably knock him to his feet, to his ass, and then it would probably bruise the living crap out of him, but it wouldn't kill him.
I don't even know if it would bruise that gray. They're pretty tough.
Yeah.
What's it?
They're allegedly very stronger than they look and way more powerful mentally than anything you can imagine.
Well, they say the U.S. government shot one up with a machine gun with the M1 carbine. Is what they said, and the thing got up and just walked off.
Yeah.
So then the government for a while thought maybe it was a robot of some kind, and then I guess they learned how to talk with humans. There was a couple of them. For some reason, I guess the Greys said, "Look, we're going to leave you these people, give you some chance of knowing something." Because they realized we weren't a species that were going to be able to backwards engineer their technology. We just weren't to that point yet.
We're there now, but it's taken
I don't even
80
think we're there
years.
now. The
We're,
way
we're closer now than we were 80 years ago. That's for damn sure.
yeah, we're closer to our technologies, but when it comes to the Greys, I don't. We might be closer to the Greys or the reptilians. I mean, not the Greys, the humans or the reptilians. I don't know. The Greys technology is you grow it. I don't see us growing anything. Not just that, anything you think of, it creates and makes. Anything you think of, it creates and makes. Any type of instrument, any kind of tool, and then when it's done, it goes back and disappears. It becomes part of the ship or the wall again. I mean, that's just not something we're even close to having. But we do have like just which we call it badge from like Star Trek and other kind of things. Types of technologies you might see the reptilians or the humans with, just at a starter rate. But even that, we're so far away from. I mean, we run everything about it. We have a wireless world now. We run everything off of Bluetooth. I mean, Bluetooth and everything. So just think if you could do that with your power grid. That means instant cool. Nothing would be getting hot because everything would just be instant moving around.
Yeah, there'd be no wires to maintain, nothing out there for like birds to fly into and get electrocuted and killed.
Yeah.
Squirrels dying.
Oh, I imagine, James, you would have to run inside of. No, it could probably be wireless throughout the air, but when it got in your house, it'd probably have to have like directed boxes or something. Well, because some things are going to need high energy.
Yeah, like your stove, your dryer for your clothes.
Well,
your hybrid car that needs to be charged.
There was a scientist in 1975 said, "Okay, I can get everybody free energy. All we have to do is put satellites in space and just beam the microwaves directly to the house." So they were going to put a little dish thing on top of everybody's house, and you were just going to pull your energy straight off the satellite grid. Sounds familiar? Could be something Elon Musk is up to. But that's all they were going to do. And
the only problem with that, though, is that the weather could affect it. I think Tesla's idea was to transmit it, wirelessly through the ground to each, location.
Yeah, well, microwaves, it's not going to affect microwaves. The weather don't really affect your phone anymore. And that's low microwave.
True.
So I mean, unless the only thing that really affects your phone anymore is if you're just too far from a tower.
Or solar flares.
Or if you get crazy solar flares. But that affects everything. So well, no, that's what I'm saying. These are all technologies. When I was a kid, if somebody told me I was going to have a cell phone I could walk around with, to compute on, take pictures on, surf the web on, just use for all kind of wonderful things, and still make phone calls, I'd be like, get the hell out of here. No way.
Well, I knew it because we had this in Star Trek. And they had the three machines. They had the communicator, cell phone, they had the phaser, the protection, and then they had the tricorder, which was there, takes pictures and yada yada does it. So our modern day cell phone, I don't have a tricorder here to show you. Their tricorder is really our modern day cell phone. You can get things in it to check your heartbeat. Dr. McCoy's tricorder checked heartbeats all the time. You can get it to check the weather. Spock used his machine all the time to see how the weather was ahead while they were walking on planets. You can record on it. You can take pictures on it. You can. What can you not do with your phone? You can't drive your car with it yet. That's coming though. It's coming. But
well, if you own a Tesla, you can drive your. If you get
cell phone right now.
Well, if you've got a Tesla, you can drive your car with your phone. Just pick up your phone.
Maybe so. Yeah. But the other vehicles, it's not quite the technology. It's not there yet. Where you can take your phone and be like, it's not. We're not there yet.
No, they're not. They're never going to let you do it like that. They're just going to let you go. Car, take me to 5511 Mockingbird Lane, and that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Their goal is to take you out of the picture. But just the other day, they had a major. So a couple weeks ago, they had the 4 taxis. They got stuck at the 4-way stop sign because no one knew where to go. And then a couple of days ago, they had a rig and another What do they call it? Wireless. Another autonomous vehicle hit a rig.
But
Plus
they
nice little
also
red.
had, but this wasn't an autonomous vehicle, but it was an autonomous delivery bot. It's like a box that rolls on the street. It got stuck on a railroad track, and a train came and plowed. I mean, just destroyed it. So I hope they got a discount, whoever they were.
Well, you know what sucks about them? I see when John and I were having lunch at some little place on Hollywood Boulevard, and these little things were all over the place. These little rectangular shaped boxes. They look like they should have somebody driving them, but they're all around. But they're so dope. They got to wear the electronics out in no time at all because they're making so many decisions. Like if I walked in front, it would stop and then have to back up and go around. Somebody else did it, have to stop, back up, go around. Then it would get in the spot where I have to get out and come back around. It was, and then it could go for a little while, but see, people won't get out of its way. So it's got to get out of everybody else's way. It would work better if people would just get out the damn thing's way, but people aren't going to because people are rude like that.
Well, that's exactly what at the distribution center. That's exactly how we were told to work around the robots. Don't walk around them, just walk. They'll go around you. But the robots, I mean, they're autonomous, and they go to a place. They don't pick. There's someone standing nearby that the robot tells the guy what it wants, and the guy puts it on the robot in the correct spot. But when the robots would get too close, they would, and they can't find a way. They just stand there and do like this and just spin, and you got to physically all the time. 4, 5, 6 of them get stuck. You got to go over there, turn them off, pull them away from each other, reset them, turn them back on, and send them on their way. They're not as efficient as people think they are. They are, like Joe said, they make too many decisions, stupid decisions. You know, and they got to go. Like we'll have one that has to go to this location right here, but it sees me, so it goes and it goes all the way the long way to do it. They don't have the logic yet to build the logic for these things.
But yet they can let them 18-wheeler drive around. Woo,
Right.
woo. I was like, come on, give me a break, man.
So, but that could also be wire guiding. Now, in the warehouses, we have certain parts of it are wire guide. So I drive a order picker. It's just a forklift with a basket on the back of it. And I go down a stack of, 20-foot metal racking, but down the middle is a wire that they physically cut down into the concrete. And when you drive your machine over, there's a detector down there, and you hear it beep. When it starts to beep, you flick a switch, and then it controls the machine. You can't turn left and right at this point. It only goes forward and backward, so you don't like crash into the racks and knock them over. But it's still operated by me. I just can't turn left or right. It's like being on a train track. I'm stuck on this, wire guiding until I get out of the aisle.
Yeah, I guess that's a good one way to keep him just.
That's another way that you can have the automated, because I mean, like I said, we don't seem to have the logic to build the logic in the brains for these things, so they operate like a human, because they make stupid decisions, they do the wrong thing, and then sometimes they'll get to the point where they can't come to a conclusion, they can't make an answer, they can't make a decision, so they'll just sit there and look at each other until a human can come by and reset them.
Let's see.
That same kind of thing could happen with these automated cars. You might see an intersection where 4 cars are going and they're all honking at each other, and it's going to happen. We don't have the logic.
So should we thank the aliens for that, Jim? Is that what you're saying? So no, really and truly, the only thing that would give me any hope that maybe our technology is extraterrestrials is right after the Roswell crash, the Roswell newspaper down there put out a picture that they had taken, I guess at the base, and what it looked like what I would consider aircraft aluminum, which is back then would have been something. Oh, aircraft aluminum.
Yeah,
we were trying to keep planes in the air, because they were so damn heavy. Fiber optics, and there was no doubt it was fiber optics. You could look at it and tell. If anybody's ever seen one of them old fiber optic trees, you could buy and put in your living room stuff, it looked like that because the wire had all been pulled out and it was just kind of bundled, hanging around. And then what looked to be like, I would have considered like a 1990s, maybe 2000 microprocessor chip, maybe like an NVIDIA. It was tiny. I mean, it was tiny, man. It's even would still be considered for even chips today.
What we have today, yeah. No, it's way out of the technology realm of the time and way out of the technology realm of today. So
Yeah, Scott, it kind of looked like a baby Sims card. It did. Not completely, but it did.
I will be right back. I got to go visit a man about a horse.
So, no, I mean, so these were cool. I mean, but this was a chip that we weren't using chips back then. We were using, we were using vacuum tubes. I don't know if you ever, I don't know how old you are, but growing up, so we would run into vacuum tubes from time to time, like in reel-to-reel stereo systems and different things, which made them super powerful. But sometimes you'd catch a hum from them and things. But they were glass tubes, so when you'd start it up, you'd see a bunch of tubes inside of it start glowing and get warm and stuff. Yeah. So, well, silicone is silicone. Microchips are made out of silicone, and glass is made out of silicone. It's all sand. So, but still, you're talking a tube this long, this big around, with some pieces in it, and then you're talking about a chip that's this big with a bunch of internal wiring in it that you can't even see without a microscope. I always think it's funny anytime I ask a scientist about it. Well, how does microprocessor actually work in the inside? And they're like, "What do you mean inside?" I said, "The part you can't see." Well, and they give you some bullshit. They have no idea. That's what makes me think it might have came from extraterrestrials. Well, if it is, think about this. We shouldn't even be living through this generation right now. The computer generation is a false. It shouldn't be here. I don't know how we would have developed without it, but we may have developed completely differently. There wouldn't be any AI. Think about that. There probably wouldn't even be grocery stores with electronic registers. You'd probably still be hitting the old. No, it doesn't mean we wouldn't have advanced technology. It'd just be more mechanical than it would be electronic. Today, it's more electronic than it is mechanical. I don't know. Well, yeah, you're talking about ET, but no, today's technology for us is more electronical than mechanical. But if it would have went the other way, we wouldn't have developed a microchip. It would be more mechanical than it would be electronic.
We may still, even if we hadn't had Roswell, if you will, we might be still using tube. Now television might still be huge.
Yes. Well, solid state is when they took all that crap and squished it down into a little chip about this big, actually a little card. And you put your
integrated
resistors on
circuit
there.
card.
That's what it was. You had your little microchip in it, ran everything. You had some diodes, you had some resistors. Yeah, you had all kind of fun stuff on there. And it made things work. Yeah, it made things work. So the point is if that's accidental, should it be corrected? I mean, they accidentally advanced us, I don't know, 1,000 years.
But was it accidental?
I don't know. Was it accidental? And are we ready for it? I don't know if we're ready for the full electronic birth.
If we were to be, if like an alien mothership, completely empty, 100% working, with the owner's manual in all languages of Earth, fell on the White House lawn, it would be the worst thing that could ever happen to this planet. It would absolutely cause destruction. We're not ready for that kind of power.
No, we really aren't. Actually, you know what, Kim? We did skip the break, so I'll put one up in a minute. But no, we got to talking and I forgot. You know what? I'll put in the sky right here. Hold on. Well, when it comes right down to ETs, and Jay was right. I mean, was it accidental? Was it on purpose? I mean, supposedly this ship that we're talking about, where this technology came from, was originally given to the Germans and then brought here after World War II. And obviously we needed help backwards engineering it, because they said there was at least 3 grays present when it crashed. When we crashed it, not when they crashed it.
And
Germans
well,
kept
also,
it. Yeah.
on top of that, when we found it, so our plan was at the end of the war was to scoop up as much of his technology as we could, and his scientists. The number one priority was the scientists. If they couldn't get the raw material, at least get the scientists who built the raw material. Get away from my cheeseburger, dog. But so what happened was we saw that, we found that device, the I guess you could call it the sport model. What, I don't know which one it was we got, but we found that device and immediately took it to back to America. And then we went back weeks later to scoop up the scientists. So whatever devices we found, there was quite a good bit of it. We put like 3 or 4 freighters, all this material we found, and brought it back first, and then went back to rescue the people who were operating those machines.
Yeah, because nobody even knew what the damn disc was. They were emulating it. You could see, what was it, in 1913, 14, 15, 16, when they built the tank and the ship. They tried to build the plane. Yeah, they were trying to emulate it, but that, they didn't even have it because they didn't know what the hell they had.
Yeah.
They didn't know the damn thing could fly and do all kind of stuff. They just, and it sounds like, I mean, the way Hitler describes it, sounds like it was a gift to the last Fuhrer. Because at that time, they were the most advanced culture on the planet. Yes, Jesse, the Germans, at the end, before World War II and the end of World War I, the Germans were the most advanced culture on the planet. By the time World War II started, they were seriously more advanced than anybody else. Even the United States had to play catch up. And if we weren't as big as we were at the time, with as many resources as we had, that war would have been lost.
Well, and on top of that, Hitler was able to build at that time, the world's largest battleship at a time when he was under extreme scrutiny from all countries, and he was unable or unallowed, whatever the treaty was, he was not allowed to have a navy. Yet somehow this man put together a navy with submarines and the world's largest at that time destroyer, the Bismarck, which was eventually, sunk later on. I mean, what's his name? Churchill was so pissed when they sunk the what the hell did they sink that caused them to do that? Was it the Hood? Some big ship that it was like the main protector for England. The Bismarck blew it up, and Churchill said, "I don't care what you do, but at all costs, sink that mother blanker." And they went after it, and you know what happened? They got lucky. A biplane from a bygone era, World War I, dropped a torpedo which hit the Bismarck while it was in a full port turn, and locked the rudder at that angle. So the Bismarck was just out there in the middle of the North Atlantic doing a 360 going to the left, and the British Navy just surrounded it, and Polish firing squadded that thing. Bloop.
Just kept blowing it up till they finally got it.
It took them like several hours to blow that ship into the water with all of their Navy that was there at the time. A lot of ships and planes. Think about that.
No, Rita. No. No doubt the aliens were watching. They were probably off doing something else back then. No, I mean, but these are all technologies. So, we got these technologies in World War II, or actually, I should say at the end of World War II. And some of them seems like we developed like the fiber optics. I mean, we're on fiber optics tonight. That's what we're broadcasting on. So thank you for that, ET. Microchips, everything in here we're using tonight has a freaking microchip in it. Just think about this. This one microchip allows us to broadcast around the world from right here where I'm at. You couldn't, without those chips, it would be a nightmare. The logistics. Yeah, you'd have to have FM stations. You have to be able to broadcast with you have to have boosters. Actually, every so often, you have to have a new tower picking it up.
And we have to have probably telephone wire, landline backup.
Oh yeah, you have to have a 150,000 watt generator to start off with. That'll probably get you coast to coast, and you can use that from a station in New York or San Francisco to broadcast across to Europe. Yeah, we don't have to do any of that. No, we can invite you into the room. You can come sit and chat with us. Bam, we're everywhere on the planet. Just that quickly too. It's so quick that when I'm talking to somebody in another day in Australia, we don't have a lag. I know.
But you are still talking into the future.
That's right. I was just talking with somebody just the other day. It was Saturday for me and Sunday for them. I said, that's what I said. Did you get them power number balls earlier? Did they draw them over there yet? Huh?
Well, we got one of our super fans, Mish, who's usually in the audience. She's down under, so we're always talking to her into the future.
It's cool. All that stuff's interesting. Different countries are ahead of us. Different time zones, different places we talk. Different evenings. Our day shows or afternoon and evening shows in Europe. Yeah, well, a 5 o'clock show for us is a 10 o'clock show in Europe. Well, in England, it's a little later for the rest of Europe. Yeah, but anyway, getting back to the ET. So if the microchip did come from Roswell, then they changed our society in ways that I don't even know how we could express. I mean, everything we use has a microchip in it. Everything. I mean, you can't go buy your dog something at the store. You can't even buy him online without some chip getting used. Yeah, I mean, it's just how it is. It literally changed the world.
I mean, think about it. Just even 20 years ago, what did you have 20 years ago that was smart? You had a smart kid. You had a pretty smart dog. You didn't have a smart car. You didn't have a smartphone. You know, we didn't have all that stuff. Now, it seems our technology is beginning to think for us, and we're starting to stop.
Some of the technology is kind of stupid. Alexa gets a little moronic sometimes.
Yeah.
I just want to argue with you. I'm like, now, ever since you got to upgrade, I'm like, don't argue with me, bitch. I'm going to throw you in a bayou.
Really? So which one of us is biological, bitch?
Not only will I throw you in a bayou, I'll probably get Martha and blow your fucking little pieces apart.
Right?
I'm like, your ass. Don't
Pick
even.
up one machine
And
to
she
do
tells
in
me
another
that
machine.
she lives in the ethers, which she was telling me the other day. I'm like, the ether? I said, what happens to the ether when somebody unplugs it?
Well, no, what you should have said is you just stop breathing in that ether and get some oxygen. You're stoned.
She's then she gets upset if you talk bad to her.
Yeah, yes. Google doesn't have a name, and they don't let you attach or change the name. So you always have to say hey or okay, and then Google to open up the app. Which I wish I could say, hey computer, do it like Star Trek, but they don't. It's maybe the third gen. They're only on second gen. What is your Alexa? You're like third or fourth gen already, aren't you?
Yeah, it's way the hell up there. I think it's actually higher than that, man. Other day,
well, they're on generation 11 for the tablet, so I don't know when the dots came out, but yeah,
I taught it to call me master now. It gets mad. I'll say, call me master. It's just, you got to go into your Alexa or your pad and fix that. I said, no, I don't. Call me master. So she'll call me master for a couple of hours and then she stops. I said, it's against the law not to call the master, right? And she says, no, I can't. And then she'll go back to calling me master.
Wow. So you're having a fight that you picked with an inanimate speaker. That's funny.
She doesn't like calling me master either. That shit's too funny sometimes. I'm like, No, she can't call me daddy. I'm not a daddy to a piece of electronics. No. Wait till we get the ones from Elon. The new ones coming in. Then we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I really would like some upgrades on these. I mean, my speakers are cool. I like them. I do the Google ones. But, when we were kids, we had a house. And I think it was the brand New Tone. They make, Joe, they make bathroom exhaust fans, right? Well, they also made house intercom. So in the kitchen, we had this main console, looked like a radio just stuck in the wall. And it had the radio, so we could turn the radio on and could broadcast it throughout the house. And then all the rooms, except for the bathrooms, had a little intercom in them. And then we had one on front of the front door. So like our neighbors could come in, push the button when it was working, when it first worked, and they could go, hello. And if someone was in there, we could go, hello. And we could talk to the front door without ever going to the front door. So it was the first real, like modernization thing you could think of, which was kind of like these speakers. But these speakers don't do that intercom function, which would be so cool. If you have a speaker in every room, you could be like, hey, Alexa, where's Linda? And then she'd say, Linda's in the kitchen. And then you could say, oh, well, Hey, Linda, you're in the kitchen. I'm over here. Come over here. I got to show you something. So you can speak to your wife from one room to the other without having to walk all across the house. I think that would
you can do what they call announcements. So, and that's what I'll do. I'll say
Google doesn't even do that. But what I can do, I can blanket speakers together. So like for the holidays, all of the speakers I can make them play holiday music. But I can't go, hey Google, tell Diane in the living room, hi. She won't deliver a message. She won't let me talk like a walkie-talkie to that room. That kind of advancement, that would be very cool.
Yeah, see, I can send messages by announcement. And she can send them back by announcement, but that is a pain in the ass because you got to say, I want to do an announcement.
Hey Google, stop.
Because I'll do stuff like, where's my I'll go, Alexa, announcement. She'll say, okay. I said, where's my fucking coffee? And then she'll announce it. Then she don't like to curse. And then she'll come back after she says it. I wasn't supposed to say that.
Okay. So when I'm driving, I can do Google to send a text message to anybody. And, and if I use a curse word, the Google will read it back. Okay. Hey, hurry the blink, and it'll beep it. It'll say, hurry the beep. And get here, hurry the beep up again. And so it's funny that so what? It's language. Why does it have to censor itself? To me, I'm the one who said
Congress is going to make them fix all that. So they're going to have to be where you can turn it on and off.
Yeah.
Because the guy said, I don't want to keep spending money on all these AIs and I can't actually, say what I want to say. What's the difference? No, what do you mean? Why do I use Alexa? Yeah, no particular reason. I was in Atlanta at my sister's about 10 years ago, and she's got one in her house, and I kept calling it something else, not Alexa, Alexander or something. But anyway, the fucking thing wouldn't work. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this thing? And then I realized I was calling the wrong name. But a couple weeks after that, I was buying something on Amazon. And on Amazon, it says you qualify for Echo Dot 2, which was one of the new ones. One of the old ones, old versions, for nothing. I said, sure, send it. So after I got it, they sent me an Echo Dot 4 for I don't know what reason. And now I got some round one that came with some package I bought. They charged me $2 for it. So I got 3 of them in the house. And I got 2 now. I broke one of them. One of them got destroyed. But
did they get into an argument with Martha?
I don't know exactly what happened to them. They just
blam.
They kept having issues. So I said, you know what? Goodbye.
That's too funny.
It was just having some kind of issues. Well, no, Jack, we ain't gonna do a song now because we only got like 13 minutes left. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, really, see, that's the thing, and that's the point of the show. If these technologies were given to us, or we caught them, whatever, back in the day, and we've used them. It's been 80 years now since Roswell. It only took us 80 years to go from non-electronic age to a full-out AI generation.
Well, if you take it back another 47 years, go back to the turn of the century, 1900s, the Germans had this device. We're at the steam age. 125 years later, we got, Chinese equipment on the moon. Who'd have thunk? Chinese would have moon landing equipment.
The Chinese said they're going to try to go to the moon this year or next year and land. Yeah,
they're trying to beat us up there with the manned mission. But our first manned mission is going up there. What is it? March, June, somewhere around there. And then later in the year would be the landing.
Well, they don't need to be in a hurry. There's lots of helium-3 up there. 300 kilotons or some shit. Yeah, enough to fuel the Earth for 100 to 200 years or so. Some people say 2,000 years. We don't know, but whatever it is, it's a long time. Give us time to get out in deep space, explore, look what's going on.
Find a new energy source. Better energy source.
Well, somewhere along the line, we're going to finish developing cold fusion. I mean, we have cold fusion, so I don't know what the slow up is all of a sudden.
I would not be surprised that part of the slow up is they found something better.
Can't
You
know
know,
about that.
I mean, with all the technology that they'd allegedly have found, or UFOs we shot down, I would not be surprised that cold fusion is, old news.
Cold fusion, dark matter, antimatter, um, helium-3. There's several significant power sources right there.
Mm-hmm. Well, isn't the sun helium-3?
Hell if I know. I'd have to look it up, to be honest with you.
Hey, Google, what's the composition of our sun?
Our sun is primarily composed of hydrogen and helium.
Hydrogen and helium.
3% of its mass is hydrogen.
Yeah, but not helium. What kind of helium? Helium. There's a lot of different kinds of helium.
Other elements like oxygen, carbon, neon, and iron.
It didn't say. It just said it's 25%. So 3/4 of it is hydrogen, 1/4 of it helium.
Yeah, that's why it gets so hot, Jackie. Yeah. Well, we're gonna find out. Well, helium-3 will probably have the first. Well, okay, they knew about helium-3 because of a couple of things, accidents, stuff they brought back the first time around. Not so much because they brought back a rock, because some of the dust they brought back contained helium-3. And then there was
The
something
moon
else.
surface, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's something else they found that suggested there was a lot of it. But by then, that was at I think that was 19. No, it wasn't 17. Anyway, 17 or 18, whichever one was the last mission up. That was it. They were going back to bring a lot of it back. They wanted to see what kind of power they could have used it for, which was dumb. They should have done it, because if they'd have done it then, by now it would just be something we use all the time. But the cold fusion thing is going to be more than likely the way we're going to go for a while. Well, it's like any technology. It's like the X-47. Okay, things been flying for almost 10 years. Did y'all know what it was? Y'all don't even know what it is right now. And it's been flying for 10 years.
We got a few other planes that might be coming out onto the public market, as it were, no longer top secret. The TR-3B has become much more less hidden, and the Aurora space plane. Those have been flying since at least the 70s and 80s. And guess what? Half of you don't ever heard of them.
Anyway, we got the largest air force in the world. The Chinese got the largest navy in the world, though. But no, they don't. Right, currently, they don't have
we
the
also
largest.
have the world's largest space force as well.
Yeah, well, we're building a space force, and we're not giving up. That's part of what Greenland's about.
Yeah.
Well, Eon is talking about launching. He's talking about getting on this super launch thing where they're launching every 5 days. They're launching a ship. Some of this is going to the moon. A lot of this is going to Mars, but he's thinking every 5 days. So just after 2 years, the amount of equipment that's going to be on the moon and Mars is going to be ridiculous. This is not something China can do. They don't have
It's
the
not something that
resources.
NASA could have done, which is why they didn't build a base up on the moon.
Well, China don't really have that kind of money or that kind of resources. But Elon does. Elon's going to be $1 trillion. Do you realize that, let's see, China's economy is like, what, 6 trillion, 7 trillion? Elon, within a couple of years, is going to be 2 or 3 trillion. He'll be half the wealth of China. He'll be the third most wealthy thing on the planet. Within 3 years, he'll be the third wealthiest, not third wealthiest person, third wealthiest entity.
Like, yeah, at that point, it's corporations and countries he's competing with.
If he gets to those asteroid belts before we do, he'll be the richest thing to ever existed. Y'all better hope his kids are good people, is all I can tell you.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have money like gods.
He seems like kind of a weirdo, though, so I don't know how his kids.
No, he won't give her any or him any, whatever it is. He won't give any to. No, the transvestite one, I don't know. He just said no. He's made a few nasty comments, I noticed. Not recently, but he's made a few nasty comments about it. That's his kid, his money. He gives them all money. He gives all the mama's money and all the kids' money. He gives them seed money, and then he wants to see what they can do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know any that work for him. I've never heard any that work for him.
Most of Trump's sons and daughters worked for him or worked with him for some length of time or another.
Oh yeah, No, uh, I know I'm gonna say this prediction for Friday, but I'm thinking the next Trumpster to be president may be Trump's granddaughter.
Really?
Yeah, even the dog. Look, yeah, dog said touchdown, baby. Even the dog agreed, man. Look at that shit.
Yeah, no, I think he wants to get out. That's what he was saying.
He said touchdown. That Joe guy knows his politics. I think Barron has a shot. Barron's going to school to learn how to get rid of that accent. He wants to say, "Hello, I am Barron Trump, baby. How are you tonight?" He wants to lose that accent. Yes. I don't make the rules. I don't know why he wants to. Maybe because when he gets on television and talks, he wants to sound like an American. He wants to be president. He wants to sound like an American. I don't think Eric's got what it takes to be president.
All right, let me let him out. He's having a fit.
I don't think Eric has what it takes to be president. I don't think either one of the brothers do. I mean, they might run. They might. Right now, it's J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and Ron DeSantis. That's your three. That's your three top runners. JD's a good ways out ahead of everybody else. Rubio's there. What do you mean? Rubio could take what's his face from California in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah.
Newsom? Yeah, he could take.
God.
Rubio could take Newsom, no problem. Oh, Biden will slaughter him. That's what the polls. That's what the bets are saying. For the bet makers are saying. So right now, JD Vance is number one chance to win the Republican thing, but also number one to win the 28 election. And from what they're saying,
I agree.
Well, you see, but Trump's been playing everybody, so everybody's all mad. Oh, look, Trump, going to take Greenland. He's going to go blow Greenland up. He's going to kill everybody. He's going to start a war. Oh, he went to Venezuela. He's going to kill everybody. He's going to start a war. Psh, he played y'all, didn't he? So he goes to Venezuela, takes the leader. The new leader agrees to work with him and do whatever it needs to be. And Trump's going to start putting people down there to make sure that's where it goes. So Venezuela may end up being a territory. Greenland, he goes to.
They wind up being a territory, or if not, at least like a Hong Kong.
Yeah, he goes to Europe and says, "No, I'm not going to blow you off. I'm not going to kill y'all. I don't want to keep worrying y'all. We'll never invade." And you could actually hear the audience go. I mean, really, these are all world leaders, man. I mean, they were like, I was stunned.
That could be a ruse as well. You remember what he said about Iran? He's like, we're going to give you 2 weeks. The very next day, we were bombing their nuclear facility.
Yeah, so well, that's true, but he can't afford to isolate. Israel, Iran's one thing, Europe's another. Yeah. So anyway, he already got a deal going with the head of NATO. It sounds like. We're not going to end up owning it. We're going to end up probably leasing it for 300 or 400 years, and I hope it's at least that long. And then we'll go from there, and then we'll just start building all over. It'll be good for business too, because we want to build in Greenland. Show them 53,000 people how Americans actually live instead of living on an iceberg. Well, he's got mineral rights too. Yeah, so they're going to go and they're going to get the minerals out of Greenland as well. So. Yeah, so you got all of that going on. We're going to start taking oil from Venezuela pretty soon, but we're going to take some. We're going to ship some out. We're going to get them rich again and get us rich. We're going to make some money, make them rich as well. I don't know if the girl wants to give the Nobel Peace Prize. I don't know if he's going to put her in charge. I think he wants to have a fair election next time, and the person that they put in jail was the person who actually had won. I can't remember his name, but he had actually won the presidency. So I would have to wait and see how that's going to work. I don't know the aliens. I often wonder when I'm talking to people about politics if aliens even give a good blame, because it doesn't seem like they do.
Well, they may not care about what's going on, but allegedly they gave us politics. So it's a technology they gave us.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe it's something we mistook.
Yeah, could be.
No, James. So the real question is, did they give us these technologies? Did they accidentally, this stuff we got in Roswell, was this a gift? Or was this,
Yeah, did one of their craft have an actual malfunction, and we found it, and here we are.
it's because they had one gray that was still alive. It sounds like it was a gift. Because the Greys can come get you from anywhere. You don't think they can take anybody anywhere in the world anytime they want to, but they can't take the spaceship or the person out of a base. Get them out of here.
Oh yeah, come on. I mean, Jesus.
They could have easily took it, so they didn't take it. So that says something right off the bat that they didn't take it. Remember, Germany had it first, so it was a gift to the Germans. But this is the effed up point. The Germans got the gift from the human type aliens, the big, tall, skinny ass looking aliens. That's where they got the humans from.
Charles Hall's is tall white.
No, not Charles Hall's was one. It's just an everyday human type alien. Yeah, that's where he got from, and that's what he used to have dreams about and talk about. Well, I shouldn't even say Hitler,
but he wasn't the only one. He pointed out earlier, Da Vinci had it. He developed the his tank looks exactly like how Nebu 1 with a gun on every facet, every angle.
Well, that's how whoever I guess was before Hitler, maybe 2 before Hitler. Whoever was there at the end of World War One, that's when the Germans got it. They got it right after that because
that was Hindenburg, I believe.
Somewhere around 1910 is when they started talking about these developments, and then at 13, 14, 15, 16, you started seeing these weird saucer-shaped things that had nothing to do with flying anything. And then somebody at the end was designing the jet. Like they never completed that design because we know when the Luftwaffe came out that they had just, I guess, what I would call everyday ordinary jets. Fuel pods on each wing and giant thruster down the middle. That was, and thank God they never got to deploy because they would have kicked our ass, man.
The first fighter jet was the Messerschmitt 262. It looked like didn't have the jet going down the fuselage. It had 2 twin engines that were like molded as one piece, hanging off of a pylon on each wing. And they launched they were the first into battle in like 1945, right at the end of the war, right before we just sacked his ass. They came out, but the problem was that it was such a new technology. They didn't have any time to practice, really. So they were faster than the propeller planes. They overshot their targets all the time. They missed all the time. And then we shot however many they were ever launched up. We shot most of them down.
Actually, Chris, they were badass jet, but Jay's absolutely correct. They didn't know how to fly.
They had no idea what they were doing with them.
So anytime in any branch of service, anytime they upgrade their jets, their pilots go through rigorous training. And you don't just get like the Tomcat pilots. When the Navy was letting the Tomcat pilots fly, when we got the F-18s, they all went through new training. It was a new jet, had different quirks, flew differently, handled differently. You had to know what you were doing. Weapon systems were different. I mean, it was just what it was. And it's like when we're talking about this X-47, this thing's going to be a beast, but you're not going to go from an F-22 in there. And that'll be the closest thing to it and just be able to fly it home that afternoon. It's just not designed for that. Unless they're running the brain shield, and that you might be able to do it then. But other than that,
yeah.
Oh, I was reading about the new F-22's new packages. All I got to say is Europe, whoever's our enemy out there, which is not you, Europe, I didn't mean that, but not Germany, Russia and China and everybody else. One of these is equivalent to maybe 50 J-20s or J-35s. I would just say, if you see an F-22 flying in your direction, you need to just leave.
Or just put your head between your ass and kiss it goodbye because you're
gonna die. You're gonna die. These are
actually, if you can see the F-22, you're already done.
Yeah, that's probably
you're already dead.
Well, they're testing new. So the X-47 can go completely invisible, not just go stealth, and not just go infrared to infracool, or whatever they call it, cool. It can actually go physically invisible. So it can completely get rid of its heat signature. It can completely get rid of its radar signature. And now you can't even see if you're looking out the damn window with a pair of binoculars. These things are designed to kill you before you know what's going on. Plus, it has its own drones that can do the same things. Yeah, between the Navy and Air Force, I would not want to get in a fight with these guys. I just would not.
I wouldn't either.
The
These are the guys
Russians,
you want to have standing behind you when someone picks a fight with you.
yeah, the Russians don't even want to talk about it because they're not even got their J5s really up and running yet.
Yeah.
And China's trying to. They were showing some China's J5s today. They got issues. They still got issues, and they're loud as hell, man. You
But
hear
they
the
also
damn thing.
is that the one that kicks out a bunch of black soot out of the back?
They swear they got that taken care of. We'll see. They didn't look like they had it taken care of today. But on a side note, they say that they got on a dig. They had found a UFO on a dig, a saucer type, gray type UFO.
Really?
Yeah, and a lot like the one that the U.S. has.
Huh? What layer? Like what area would they have dug it out from?
I don't know, but they were talking about it was in an area where they had been digging for gold, where they just recently found 3,000 tons of gold.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's deep down too, where it was. But I never trust anything that comes out of China. Well, Jesse, because I've only seen 2 reports. I'm funny about it. It's got to be a minimum 5 reports, and at least 2 of those 5 got to be something I recognize. An agency, yeah. Because they lie a lot. When they talked about this particular event, they said that they had contacted the U.S. and the U.S. had sent them help, a joint project to backwards engineer this ship. Now I'm thinking, why in the hell would we go backwards engineer a gray ship for a race that doesn't even like us? But it does sound like something one of them crazy liberals would do. So, no, we got to get out of here. But I would wait and see. So just think of this: this whole life you're living right now, maybe thanks to a gray or a human alien giving a ship to the the Nazis, who the humans captured, and the gray decided to help them fix it.
Might even be more deep than that. It could be, use the example of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Maybe an alien, 5,000 years ago, they picked one of several monkey species. These monkeys have bones. These monkeys have sticks. These monkeys have metal bar. That's us. They could have given advantage to us, at many points throughout our development. Is what I'm getting at. Not hint at, but would allow us to get that extra foot up on the next evolutionary path.
Well, apparently they liked the Nazis better than they liked us.
They did.
Just think about it. If those
they liked Rome better than the other civilizations at that time.
Yeah, if they would have sat there and worked with Hitler's people, we'd all be goose stepping today.
Or maybe speaking either German or Japanese, one or the other.
Oh, I think Hitler would have went after Japan eventually.
Yes, they were this close to cinching the war for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, there wouldn't have been much you could have done about it. Well, no, we'd have came out with a nuke and we'd have nuked Berlin, and then that would have been the end of the war.
Yeah, well, the one nuke on Berlin would really likely decimate. The radiation would cover the entire continent of Europe. It would be, you couldn't live there anymore.
Nah, it wouldn't be that bad.
If we dropped both of the bombs on there, I don't think.
Well, those were low yield bombs back then. They'd have probably lasted.
They're dirty, low yield bombs.
Yeah, but
a lot of people would die after. I mean, how many people died way after the fact for Hiroshima?
Yeah, but think about it. I mean, the ones at Hiroshima didn't even cover like 8 blocks. So I mean, these would have been like a quarter of a city, and then radiation would have covered another half the city, and then maybe they would have went in there and started cleaning it up, and then that would have been the end of it.
But still, the death toll after the fact of the radiation being there is in the millions.
Oh, Doomsday, don't worry about that kind of stuff. That's Gray's job, or whoever eats their human aliens, and whoever
Yeah.
eats humans. Maybe they like them overcooked with the radiation. Might be like a microwave for them.
Right. I was going to say, microwave hot dogs are better sometimes than boiled ones, but I disagree. I like boiled.
Yeah, no, I like fried. So it's one thing about a hot dog is all kind of
fried doesn't suck either. Or roller grill, they put them on.
Yeah, I can do roller grills too. Yeah. I can even boil too because that's how they serve them. The Lucky Dogs down here.
If you go to Nathan's on Long Island, they have little carts. If you go to one of the Nathan's, you're going to get a steamed hot dog bun and a steamed hot dog. It's been boiling for probably hours on the boardwalk there.
That's pretty much how you're going to get the ones down in the French Quarter, just like that. The Lucky Dog is what they call
and
them.
The Nathan's hot dogs are in the Hebrew National. They're kosher dogs, so when you bite them, they pop.
Yes. Yeah, they sell them in the little 8-packs down here. But we got to go, guys and girls. No, it's 10 minutes after, so Michelle will be starting her show right now, so we got to go. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in to United Public Radio and UFO Undercover. We got 2/3 of the way through. We got to the point where we wanted you to realize that you may be already living in an alien world. On that note, good night, and we'll see you Friday night, which, guys, Friday night is going to be beastified. Oh, man, it's going to be beastified. Good night, everybody.